our role as infrastructure developer, specifically leveraging the airport, is the construction of a national food hub. So this food hub will be one of the many, it will be the first and will be one of the many food hubs that will be established throughout the country. Ours will be the footprint that will guide all other food hubs in the country, hopefully to address all these issues. So what we're pushing for is standardization in food, enhancing food quality, ensuring that all the standards are met locally and internationally, and that we are able to address the needs of the Filipino people, and hopefully by addressing these needs, we will also provide the avenue for the farmers to enhance their production, improve their production, improving food quality and hygiene, and ultimately be able to export high-value quality products, again, leveraging the airport in all of this. What the Philippines is trying to do is to create certain hubs throughout the country, and these hubs will be the areas where spokes will be connecting to. So basically the agri-trading areas that we have, agri-trading centers that we have. So it will provide a central distribution to all of the areas, to a larger region in the country. So it's a little bit bigger than FDI, the scope is bigger than the FDI, and the standards will be higher. We will be following international standards. You mentioned that if we're benchmarking with other countries, we actually went on an observation mission with both the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Trade and Industry. We went to the bigger markets abroad. We went to Spain, we went to Mercabarna, we went to France and Munich, and even the flower market in Netherlands. So all of these are the older markets, logistics markets that really drive the GDPs of these countries. So we want to model our program, our project to those markets, and at the same time leverage PPP. So this is going to be a public-private partnership project. So the area itself will be 60 hectares initially, and it can expand to an additional 11 hectares. So that's pretty comparable to the bigger markets in the world, like Spain has 90 hectares, they're expanding to 100, although in France it's much bigger, it's around 200 hectares, but it's pretty comparable. So the pavilions will be set up so that all the types of produce will be accommodated, and we will be focusing a lot on cold storage because we do realize that cold storage facilities are really what we need here in our country, especially with our climate, in order to ensure the quality of the food and to avoid all the spoilages that we had, because we talked with the DA and then we found out that almost half of our food produce go to waste, and we found out that in other countries their wastage numbers are only less than 1%. So there's this big disparity that we really want to close, and we want to ensure that we have those standards in the Philippines. And in terms of the project cost, we do have an initial costing of 8.5 billion pesos, but that's just the first phase because again it will be through PPP. So we envision that most of the infrastructure costs will be shouldered by the private proponent. We might well, our transaction advisor will be advising us as to the modality of what we will pursue. If it will be a joint venture, if the government will be putting in its equity as land or something else. So it's something that we will be looking at. And as to tonnage, so again, there are initial feasibility studies, but we have engaged an international financial institution to revisit those numbers so that we can come up with more updated. So we can come up with more updated numbers as to tonnage. We're actually signing the transaction advisory services by Friday, and then our feasibility study will be completed around March next year. So we are expecting to have our private partner on board by September, and construction before the year end of next year, and then we're expecting to have this operational before the term ends. So early June of 2028.